and again and again and again.
Yeah, it's strange. You write a collection of songs, and you say you're a musician, and
your family and your
you don't sing the songs, you talk about them.
Yeah. Okay, let's start. First of all, welcome to Finland.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Is it your first time? Have you been here?
No, I've never been here.
Okay.
So this is the bonus of the job: is coming to new places.
But you have travelled because you've been in at least in former Czechoslovakia. But
yeah, I mean, I've travelled with my father as well before that, and so we've been to different places around the world. And then obviously this new job I have takes me all across the world, which is fantastic. I've just come back from the whole of Europe, and before that Australia and New Zealand, and before that the whole of America. So there are some really good aspects to what I now do.
So you have seen it all?
I wouldn't say I've seen it all, but I've seen bits of it.
Normally, well, if you have some family members, or one of them is an army officer, you move like once a year to some other place. Did that happen to you as well in your childhood?
Yeah, it did. For us it's every 2 years, and I spent time in the south of England and in Cyprus, Germany and the north of England. So it's prepared me for what I now do, and I get on a tour bus with my band, and we tour the world doing music, and it means you have a certain independence.
So do you still feel you have roots somewhere?
For me, my understanding of home is where friends are, and my friends are in England, and that's where I feel associated with, and that's what I call home.
You're very well known because of your service in peacekeeping forces. Please tell us, how did you join the peacekeepers?
Well, I joined the army rather than just, it wasn't specifically the peacekeepers. The army just has different roles, as you probably know. And my father was in the army, so he influenced me that way. And then the army assisted with my university tuition fees. And as a result, it means I owed them 4 years service. And so I went and did my time. And then, yeah, at different times we had different jobs. One of those for a time obviously was in Kosovo during the '99 bombing campaign, where I was a reconnaissance officer. And then we signed a peace accord. So I moved in and helped establish peace in the area.
But was it so that you have also served as a guard in front of the Buckingham Palace or something like that?
Yeah, the last year I asked if I could then work in London as the Queen's mounted guard, which obviously is on a horse. And yeah, it was a really interesting job, and it was a good year for me because it meant I could do shows around London and start meeting other musicians and recording my demos, and then eventually find the right manager, which is the way I then got myself into the music industry.
But how did you end up to the States to make the album there?
Well, I had different record deals offered, and some of them were good and some of them were really bad. And then I played in Texas at a festival called South by Southwest, and as I put my guitar on the case, a woman came up to me and said, "Hi, my name is Linda Perry, and I would like to give you a record deal to her independent label called Custard," and it was based in Los Angeles. And the deal just made sense because she said you can choose your producer and you can make your own album the way you want to make it, and it'll sound like you because you're in charge. And that's a very rare kind of belief. The other deals were just lacking in that kind of belief. So if she was based in Los Angeles, and also I asked to work with Tom Rothrock, who produced Elliott Smith's albums, and he was based in LA, so it made sense to go and record it there. And if you're going to do something special, like make an album, which you've dreamt of for years, you don't want to just get out of your flat in London and go down your busy street in the rain to a studio down the road. You might as well go and do something different and special, and we're better than LA.
And is it so that you also share a manager or agent with Elton John?
Yeah, it's a management firm, and Elton John is on their books, as am I.
So he's kind of a godfather to you, or?
He's taken me on tour, which is an amazing opportunity, and obviously he's been a great support. He says some very supportive things in various circles, which is really special, and he does that with lots of new musicians who he thinks should be listened to, so he's very good at that.
Back to your army career, I read somewhere that you were singing peace songs, and so walking around the Kosovo street. How can an army guy Well, army and peace, they can be together or...
Yeah, very much. I think they go hand in hand, don't they? You're either at war or you're at peace, and somewhere in the middle, you've got to have someone working out how to find peace. Sometimes politicians try, sometimes they fail. When they do fail, they send in an army. An army doesn't have to just use force to establish peace. It has to use its own mind, its freedom of thought, its intelligence to work out how to bring peace. And we used a number of different methods.
Is that the message of your music as well?
My music is just about my own personal experiences. I haven't necessarily set out to say anything in a form of a message. I've just relayed my own experiences, and if people take an understanding from that or find themselves feeling a particular thing from that, then that's great, and it's great that music should move them in that way.
War is war, but now we have this so-called war against terror. So, and